The diplomatic station hung in space like a crystalline spider web, its transparent corridors and prismatic walls a testament to the Galactic Confederation's ideals of transparency and unity. Captain Aria Martinez knew better. Behind every polished surface and carefully crafted diplomatic chamber lay a labyrinth of secrets, and she was about to expose them all. Her neural implant pulsed softly against her temporal lobe, a constant reminder of the years of preparation that had led to this moment. The implant wasn't just a communication device. It was a weapon, a storage unit, and a gateway to humanity's most closely guarded technological marvel. The station's main conference hall buzzed with activity. Representatives from 17 different species clustered in their designated zones, their various physiological adaptations creating a kaleidoscope of alien forms. Crystalline Vorlex diplomats with their fractal-like bodies stood near the silicon-based Krell administrators. Gaseous nebulans shimmered in containment fields adjacent to the reptilian Zarkon delegates. Martines moved through the crowd with practiced ease, her chameleon tech adaptive suit shifting colors and textures to match her surroundings. To the naked eye, she was just another low-level human diplomatic assistant. Unremarkable. Forgettable. Her dark eyes scanned the room, tracking multiple conversations simultaneously through her neural interface. A Krell administrator approached, its silicon-based body clicking with each movement. Refreshment, it offered, extending a crystalline appendage holding a translucent beverage. Thank you, Martines responded, taking the drink, but never bringing it to her lips. Her implant was already analyzing its composition, not for poison, but for data transmission potential. The plan had been generations in the making. Humanity's true history was nothing like the peaceful narrative presented to the galactic community. For centuries, they had been preparing, watching, learning. Every diplomatic mission, every seemingly innocuous interaction, was a data-gathering operation of unprecedented scale. Her target was in the room. Ambassador Krellix of the Zarkon Imperium, the most militaristic and expansionist species in the known galaxy. The massive reptilian diplomat towered over most other representatives, his scaled skin reflecting the station's soft lighting like burnished bronze. A low-frequency pulse from her neural implant triggered the first phase of the operation. Microscopic nanobots, previously dispersed throughout the station's environmental systems, began their silent work. They weren't designed to destroy. Not yet. Their purpose was far more subtle. The explosion, when it came, would look like a terrorist attack, but it was nothing of the sort. Martinez watched as the first tremors began, a subtle vibration, almost imperceptible at first. The station's structural integrity fields began to fluctuate, another seemingly random malfunction. To anyone else, it would appear to be a tragic accident waiting to happen. Her neural interface connected to the station's primary data core. Years of carefully planted backdoors and quantum-encrypted access points gave her complete control. With a thought, she could shut down life support, trigger emergency protocols, or, as was her current mission, extract the most critical data in existence. Ambassador Krellix was giving a speech about galactic security, his booming voice filled with typical Zarkon bravado. He had no idea that every word, every gesture was being meticulously recorded, analyzed, and stored in ways he could never comprehend. The first explosion was almost beautiful in its precision. A section of the station's outer hull seemed to simply dissolve. Not burst, not tear, but disintegrate in a way that defied current understanding of physics. Bodies of diplomats were flung like ragdolls, their final moments captured in a horrific ballet of destruction. But Martinez moved with calculated calm. While others panicked, she navigated the chaos with the precision of a surgeon. Her target was a secure data vault located in the station's diplomatic archives, a repository of secrets that could reshape galactic power structures. The data crystal hidden in her neural implant was more than just storage. It was a quantum-encrypted key, capable of unlocking information that could bring entire civilizations to their knees. Years of covert research, of patient infiltration, of strategic information gathering, all compressed into a device smaller than a human fingernail. As rescue teams began to arrive, Martinez continued her methodical extraction. To the outside world, she was coordinating evacuation efforts. In reality, she was executing the first move in humanity's grand strategy, a strategy that had been brewing for generations. The station was dying, but the real destruction was yet to come. One thought echoed through her mind, a message prepared by Earth's most secret strategic think tank. We've been holding back. No more. The underground complex stretched for kilometers beneath the Atacama Desert, a testament to humanity's most profound secret. Dr. Nathan Kim stood at the epicenter of technological evolution, surrounded by innovations that would shatter everything the galaxy thought they knew about human capabilities. Holographic displays danced around him, each one a window into a different realm of scientific breakthrough. To his left, quantum processors hummed with a complexity that would make most alien civilizations weep. To his right, adaptive nanoswarm weapon systems developed themselves in real time, learning and mutating faster than any biological intelligence could comprehend. Preliminary data from the diplomatic station infiltration is coming in, announced Dr. Elena Rodriguez, her voice cutting through the ambient technological chorus. She was the strategic mastermind behind humanity's long game, a geneticist, a quantum physicist, and the architect of their species' hidden potential. Kim's fingers danced across a quantum interface, pulling up layers of information that defied conventional understanding. The data from Captain Martinez's mission was more than just a successful intelligence-gathering operation. It was a carefully designed probe, each piece of information a calculated move in a game of galactic chess that had been playing out for generations. The Zarkon didn't even realize they were being studied. Kim muttered, more to himself than to Rodriguez. Each diplomatic mission, each seemingly innocuous trade agreement, each cultural exchange had been a meticulously planned intelligence-gathering operation. The wall behind him shifted, revealing a massive holographic representation of galactic species. Thousands of civilizations were mapped out, not just their current technological capabilities, but their psychological profiles, cultural vulnerabilities, and potential strategic weaknesses. It was a database that went far beyond traditional intelligence gathering. We're not just collecting information, Rodriguez explained, her hand sweeping across the holographic display. We're creating a comprehensive understanding of galactic dynamics that no single species has ever achieved. Terraforming systems lined one entire section of the complex. These weren't just standard planetary modification technologies. These were adaptive systems that could transform entire planetary ecosystems in weeks, not decades. Massive tanks filled with engineered microorganisms could strip mine a planet's resources or rebuild its entire ecological structure with mathematical precision. A young researcher approached, holding a quantum-encrypted data module. Sir, the psychological warfare algorithms are ready for final testing. The neural mapping databases we've collected over the past decades are providing unprecedented insights. Kim studied the module. It represented something far more dangerous than a traditional weapon. This was a tool that could deconstruct entire civilizations by understanding their deepest psychological triggers. Years of covert research, of patient infiltration, of strategic information gathering, compressed into a device smaller than a human thumb. The Galactic Confederation believes we're diplomatic moderators, Rodriguez said, a rare smile crossing her face. They have no idea we've been the most sophisticated intelligence gatherers the galaxy has ever seen. The complex was more than a research facility. It was humanity's insurance policy, its ultimate shield, and its most potent weapon. Every technological marvel around them represented decades of deliberate misdirection. While other species saw humans as a young, somewhat naive civilization, they were meticulously preparing for a moment of reckoning. Quantum communication systems lined another section, capable of instantaneous communication across impossible distances. But these weren't just communication devices. They were potential weapons, information conduits that could destabilize entire galactic communication networks in milliseconds. The Zarkon Imperium thinks it understands power, Kim said, pulling up a detailed analysis of their military and technological infrastructure. They have no concept of the preparations we've made. Rodriguez nodded. Our strategy has always been patience, observation, preparation. We've been collecting data, understanding vulnerabilities, developing technologies that redefine the very concept of warfare. The nano-swarm weapon systems began to reconfigure themselves, a living testament to humanity's technological prowess. Each swarm was a collective intelligence, capable of adapting to environments and threats in real time. They weren't just weapons, they were evolutionary platforms that could transform based on strategic requirements. Martinez's mission was just the beginning, Kim said, his fingers tracing complex quantum algorithms. We're about to show the galaxy that everything they thought they knew about humanity was a carefully constructed illusion. The complex continued its silent hum of technological potential, generations of preparation, of strategic thinking, of deliberate misdirection, all converging towards a singular moment of revelation. Humanity had been watching. Humanity had been learning. And now, humanity was ready to redefine the rules of galactic existence. The colony world of New Horizon hung in space like a fragile blue-green marble, completely unaware that it was about to become the most important battleground in galactic history. Thousands of Zarkon warships approached, their massive hulls blocking out entire sections of star-studded space, weapons charging with murderous intent. Admiral Krellick stood on the bridge of the Imperium's flagship, the Sovereign Talon, his reptilian eyes gleaming with anticipation of another conquest. New Horizon was just another weak colony, another stepping stone in the Zarkon's relentless expansion. 17 previous colonies had fallen to their fleet. This would be no different. Weapon systems charged to maximum, reported his primary tactical officer, a younger Zarkon whose scales hadn't yet darkened to the deep bronze of a veteran commander. Targeting systems locked, awaiting your command to begin primary bombardment. Krellick allowed himself a moment of savage satisfaction. The colony below represented everything the Zarkon Imperium stood for: conquest, domination, the natural order of galactic hierarchy. Smaller species existed to be conquered. Weaker civilizations were meant to be subjugated. What the Zarkon didn't know was that they were about to become the centerpiece of humanity's most elaborate demonstration. The first hint that something was wrong came as a subtle vibration, almost imperceptible at first. A quantum-level disruption spread through the Zarkon fleet like a cancer. Weapon systems began to flicker. Navigation computers started to glitch. Status report. Krellick bellowed, his massive frame tensing. His tactical officer's response was cut short. Every single ship in the fleet simultaneously experienced total systems failure. Not a gradual shutdown, not a progressive breakdown. A complete, instantaneous technological collapse that defied every known law of electronic warfare. Bridges went dark. Weapon systems became inert. Propulsion systems died. And then something impossible happened. A transmission cut through the dead systems, not through standard communication channels, not through any known method of signal transmission. It penetrated directly into the neural interfaces of every Zarkon commander, a weaponized information construct that bypassed all known communication barriers. Each commander experienced a personalized nightmare. For Admiral Krellick, it was a vivid reconstruction of his greatest failure, a battle from decades ago, when he had been a young commander, a miscalculation that had cost thousands of Zarkon lives. But this wasn't just a memory. This was a complete sensory experience, engineered with such precision that the line between memory and reality completely dissolved. He could smell the burning plasma, feel the desperate scramble of dying soldiers, hear the communication system crackling with panicked voices. Every moment of guilt, every suppressed moment of doubt, magnified and weaponized. Other commanders experienced similar personalized psychological attacks. Some saw their most traumatic memories reconstructed with terrifying accuracy. Others witnessed impossible scenarios that attacked the very core of their belief systems. The psychological warfare was beyond anything in galactic warfare history. This wasn't just an attack. This was a complete deconstruction of the Zarkon command structure. Aboard a hidden observation platform, Dr. Nathan Kim watched the operation unfold. Beside him, Captain Aria Martinez monitored the psychological response metrics, each data point a testament to humanity's true capabilities. Psychological destabilization at 87.3%, Martinez reported, her voice clinical. Neural interface penetration complete. Secondary fail-safes are engaging. Kim nodded. This was more than a military operation. This was a demonstration, a carefully engineered message to the entire galaxy about humanity's true potential. The Zarkon fleet, moments ago the most feared military force in the known galaxy, now drifted helplessly. Some ships experienced mass suicides. Others saw complete command structure breakdown. A few commanders, their minds shattered by the personalized psychological attacks, began turning on each other. Prepare the secondary phase, Kim instructed. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity had been watching. Humanity had been preparing, and humanity was nothing like they had been led to believe. This was just the beginning. The Galactic Confederation's primary xenopsychological research station orbited a neutron star, its massive research arrays designed to study the most complex forms of alien consciousness. Dr. Elena Rodriguez knew it was about to become ground zero for the most significant psychological event in galactic history. Inside the station's primary analysis chamber, holographic displays began to malfunction. Not with the typical electronic glitches of technological failure, but with a deliberate, almost sentient unpredictability. Data streams twisted into impossible configurations. Mathematical models began to solve themselves in ways that defied known computational logic. Incoming psychological cascade, announced the station's primary AI system, its voice betraying something closer to excitement than concern. Quantum information transfer exceeding all known bandwidth limitations. The transmission wasn't just a message. It was a weaponized information construct that represented the pinnacle of human psychological warfare technology, a system years in development, hidden behind humanity's carefully crafted facade of diplomatic passivity. Each Zarkon commander experienced a personalized hellscape that went far beyond traditional psychological warfare. These were not mere hallucinations or memory reconstructions. They were complete alternative reality experiences, engineered with such precision that the line between perception and reality completely dissolved. Admiral Krellix found himself reliving his entire military career, but from the perspective of every soldier he had ever commanded. Every strategic decision, every battle, every moment of triumph and failure, reconstructed with quantum-level accuracy. He felt their fear, their hope, their absolute despair. In another section of the fleet, a young Zarkon tactical officer experienced something even more horrifying. Her neural interface was hijacked to show multiple simultaneous potential futures, each one a scenario where her decisions led to the complete extinction of the Zarkon species. The quantum probability engine driving the experience was so advanced that each potential future felt absolutely real. Some commanders went mad instantaneously. Others committed suicide, their minds unable to process the complete deconstruction of their perceived reality. A few simply surrendered, their will to fight completely destroyed by the psychological onslaught. Dr. Rodriguez watched the data streams with clinical precision. This was more than a military operation. This was a comprehensive demonstration of humanity's true technological capabilities. Psychological penetration at 93.2%, reported Captain Martinez, her neural interface feeding real-time data directly into the research station's systems. Command structure destabilization complete. The weaponized information construct wasn't just attacking individual minds. It was systematically dismantling the entire Zarkon cultural and military paradigm. Years of historical narrative, centuries of cultural conditioning, entire philosophical frameworks. All were being systematically deconstructed. Dr. Nathan Kim entered the observation chamber, his presence adding another layer of intensity to the already charged atmosphere. "We're not just defeating an enemy," he said, more to himself than to anyone else. "We're demonstrating a completely new form of warfare." The holographic displays began to shift, showing the cascading psychological impact across the Zarkon fleet. It was like watching a complex biological system being dismantled at the cellular level, precise, methodical, almost beautiful in its complexity. "The quantum information cascade is self-propagating," the station's AI continued. "Psychological reconstruction algorithms are now active. We are beyond traditional warfare. This is total systemic deconstruction." What made the attack truly terrifying was its precision. This wasn't indiscriminate destruction. This was a surgical strike against the very concept of Zarkon military and cultural identity. Every neural pathway was being analyzed. Every potential resistance mechanism was being anticipated and neutralized. Some Zarkon ships began to turn on each other. Others simply powered down, their crews in complete psychological shutdown. The most advanced military force in the known galaxy was being dismantled not through traditional weapons, but through pure information warfare. "Confirmation of total psychological penetration," Martins reported. "The Zarkon command structure has been completely neutralized." Dr. Rodriguez allowed herself a rare smile. "Humanity has been preparing for this moment for generations. The galaxy is about to learn that everything they thought they knew about us was a carefully constructed illusion." The technological nightmare continued, a testament to humanity's true potential, a potential that had been hidden, cultivated, and was now being revealed in all its terrifying complexity. This was just the beginning. The Galactic Confederation's emergency session chamber was a marvel of architectural engineering. A massive spherical room that could simultaneously accommodate representatives from over 200 different species. Gravity modulators, atmospheric converters, and translation matrices worked in concert to create a single unified space where fundamentally incompatible life forms could coexist. Today, that chamber would become a crucible of galactic-scale revelation. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of the chamber, her posture betraying none of the monumental tension that crackled through the air. Around her, holographic displays began to flicker, not with malfunction, but with a deliberate, choreographed precision that suggested something far more calculated was about to occur. "Distinguished representatives," she began, her voice cutting through the chamber's ambient translation frequencies, "we are here to discuss a matter of unprecedented galactic significance." The first holographic display materialized, a comprehensive breakdown of every covert military program conducted by the major galactic powers over the past century. Classified research projects, hidden weapon developments, secret colonization attempts, all laid bare with quantum-level documentation. The Vorlex crystalline diplomats shifted uncomfortably, their fractal bodies vibrating with barely contained anxiety. The silicon-based Krell administrators began emergency communication protocols, their computational matrices working overtime to process the incoming information. Rodriguez continued, her presentation becoming a systematic deconstruction of galactic power dynamics. "What you are witnessing," she said, "is not an attack. This is a comprehensive exposure of the systems that have maintained an illusion of galactic stability." Each holographic display was more shocking than the last. Classified communication logs, suppressed xenological research, diplomatic communications that revealed generations of manipulation and counter-manipulation. The Zarkon delegation, what remained of it after the psychological warfare operation, sat in stunned silence. Their entire military and diplomatic infrastructure was being dismantled in real time, every secret laid bare for the entire galaxy to witness. For generations, Rodriguez explained, humanity has been collecting, analyzing, and understanding. Not to conquer, not to destroy, but to comprehend. Dr. Nathan Kim stood at a secondary interface, feeding real-time data into the presentation. Quantum encrypted information streams revealed technological capabilities that defied everything the galaxy thought they knew about human potential. Terraforming technologies that could transform entire planetary ecosystems in weeks. Quantum communication systems that could instantaneously transmit information across impossible distances. Adaptive nanoswarm technologies that blurred the line between weapon and living system. The most terrifying aspect wasn't the technologies themselves. It was the revelation of how long humanity had been preparing. "We are not your enemies," Rodriguez stated, her voice carrying a weight that transcended mere diplomatic rhetoric. "We are the guardians you never knew you needed." Holographic displays began to show alternative scenarios, potential galactic conflicts that humanity had silently prevented through strategic intervention, diplomatic tensions that had been carefully diffused, potential genocides that had been quietly averted. The Confederation chamber descended into chaos. Some species were in shock. Others were preparing defensive postures. A few seemed on the verge of total psychological breakdown. Captain Aria Martinez moved silently through the chamber, her neural interface tracking every reaction, every subtle shift in diplomatic tension. This was more than a presentation. This was a comprehensive restructuring of galactic power dynamics. "We have the capability to destroy," Rodriguez continued, "but destruction was never our goal. Understanding was." The final holographic display materialized, a comprehensive map of potential galactic futures. Quantum probability models showed multiple scenarios, each one demonstrating humanity's potential for both destruction and preservation. "Today," she concluded, "the galaxy learns that humanity has been watching, learning, preparing, and we will continue to do so." The chamber fell into a silence more profound than any diplomatic meeting in galactic history. Humanity had spoken, and for the first time, everyone was truly listening. The Zarkon Imperium didn't collapse. It was systematically dismantled. Dr. Nathan Kim watched from the underground complex as humanity's multidimensional response unfolded with surgical precision. This wasn't a traditional military campaign. This was a comprehensive deconstruction of an entire imperial structure, economic, technological, and strategic. Quantum communication viruses spread through the Imperium's networks like a living intelligence. Financial algorithms developed by humanity's most advanced computational minds began to destabilize economic systems with mathematical perfection. Each transaction, each credit transfer, each economic node was analyzed and strategically compromised. Economic destabilization at 67.4%, reported Captain Aria Martinez, her neural interface feeding real-time data across multiple quantum communication channels. Predictive economic models show complete systemic failure within 72 hours. The first wave of the response targeted communication infrastructure. Zarkon quantum communication networks, once considered the most secure in the galaxy, began to turn against themselves. Messages became weapons. Communication channels transformed into psychological warfare conduits. Adaptive AI systems, developed in the hidden laboratories beneath the Atacama Desert, began to systematically dismantle the Imperium's technological foundations. These weren't simple computer viruses. They were living intelligences that could learn, adapt, and evolve faster than any biological or technological defense could comprehend. Industrial centers across Zarkon-controlled space began to experience impossible failures. Automated factories turned their own production systems against their creators. Massive spacecraft construction facilities began to deconstruct themselves with mathematical precision. "We're not just attacking," Dr. Kim muttered, more to himself than to anyone else. "We're performing a complete systemic reset." Humanitarian interventions played a crucial role in the strategy. Planets and colonies that had been under Zarkon oppression for generations suddenly found themselves with comprehensive reconstruction systems. Advanced terraforming technologies transformed hostile environments. Educational and medical systems were instantaneously deployed. The most terrifying aspect of humanity's response was its precision. This wasn't indiscriminate destruction. This was a calculated dismantling of an entire imperial structure, with every potential countermove already anticipated and neutralized. Psychological warfare algorithms are maintaining continuous adaptation, Martins reported. The Zarkon command structure is experiencing complete systemic breakdown. Quantum probability engines predicted and neutralized potential resistance strategies before they could even be conceived. It was like watching a complex biological system being surgically deconstructed, each component analyzed, understood, and strategically neutralized. Some Zarkon worlds experienced total economic collapse within hours. Others found their entire technological infrastructure turning against them. Communication networks became psychological warfare platforms. Industrial systems began to deconstruct themselves with terrifying efficiency. Dr. Elena Rodriguez monitored the global impact, her neural interface processing information at speeds that would make traditional computational systems look like primitive calculators. We're not just defeating an enemy, she explained to no one in particular. We're demonstrating a completely new approach to conflict resolution. Humanitarian aid arrived simultaneously with the technological deconstruction. Advanced medical systems, comprehensive educational platforms, terraforming technologies that could transform hostile environments into habitable zones. The Zarkon subject races found themselves liberated not just from imperial control, but provided with comprehensive systems of reconstruction. Adaptive reconstruction protocols at 82.3%, the complex's primary AI system reported. Predictive social integration models show 94% probability of stable societal transition. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the Zarkon Imperium, once the most feared military force in known space, was systematically dismantled, not through traditional warfare, but through a comprehensive, multidimensional response that defied every known concept of conflict. This is more than a military operation, Dr. Kim said, watching the holographic displays that showed the comprehensive deconstruction. This is a reset, a demonstration of what's possible when a civilization commits to understanding rather than destruction. Captain Martinez allowed herself a rare smile. We've been preparing for this moment for generations. The comprehensive response continued, a testament to humanity's true potential, a potential that had been hidden, cultivated, and was now being revealed in all its complex, terrifying beauty. This was just the beginning. The aftermath of humanity's intervention rippled across the galaxy like a quantum shockwave. Entire power structures that had existed for millennia began to dissolve, reshape, and reform in ways no one could have predicted. On the restored colony worlds of the former Zarkon territories, something extraordinary was happening. Liberated populations found themselves equipped with technologies and educational systems that were generations ahead of anything they had previously experienced. Terraforming platforms transformed hostile environments into thriving ecosystems. Advanced medical nanites eradicated centuries of genetic damage caused by imperial oppression. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood in the Galactic Reconstruction Command Center, her neural interface tracking the complex web of societal transformations happening simultaneously across hundreds of star systems. This wasn't just a military intervention. This was a comprehensive societal reset. Adaptive integration protocols are exceeding all projected parameters, reported the center's primary AI system. Holographic displays showed entire planetary societies undergoing rapid, controlled transformation. Economic systems were being rebuilt. Educational infrastructures were being instantaneously deployed. Centuries of cultural trauma were being systematically addressed. Captain Aria Martinez moved between monitoring stations, her presence a constant reminder of the precision behind humanity's intervention. Each data point, each societal metric was being analyzed in real time, with predictive models constantly adjusting to ensure optimal societal reconstruction. The Galactic Confederation found itself in a state of complete recalibration. Species that had been traditional rivals now found themselves reassessing their entire approach to interstellar relations. The comprehensive nature of humanity's intervention had exposed the fundamental flaws in existing galactic power structures. We are not conquerors, Dr. Nathan Kim explained during an emergency session. his holographic presentation revealing layers of strategic thinking that left other species both terrified and fascinated. We are architects of potential. Quantum communication networks began to transform. The advanced systems humanity had developed didn't just communicate, they understood. Information became more than a transmission. It became a living, adaptive intelligence that could bridge cultural and biological differences with unprecedented efficiency. On worlds that had been under Zarkon control for generations, entire populations experienced a simultaneous cultural renaissance. Advanced educational platforms appeared overnight, providing comprehensive knowledge that undid centuries of imperial suppression. Medical technologies healed not just physical wounds, but generational trauma. The most radical transformation happened at the societal level. Adaptive governance systems, developed in humanity's most advanced research complexes, began to be implemented. These weren't traditional governmental structures, but dynamic, responsive systems that could adapt in real time to the needs of diverse populations. Societal integration models showing 97.2% positive trajectory. The AI system reported. Predictive conflict resolution algorithms operating at maximum efficiency. Other galactic species watched in a mixture of terror and fascination. Humanity had demonstrated something far beyond military might. They had shown the ability to reconstruct entire civilizations with surgical precision, addressing root causes of conflict rather than simply suppressing symptoms. The economic recalibration was equally profound. Quantum economic algorithms developed by humanity began to reshape trade systems, breaking down centuries-old barriers. Resources were redistributed with mathematical precision, addressing systemic inequalities that had existed for millennia. This is more than intervention. Dr. Rodriguez explained during a closed-door diplomatic session. This is a comprehensive approach to galactic development. Adaptive terraforming technologies transformed previously uninhabitable worlds. Entire planetary ecosystems were rebuilt, with ecological systems designed to be self-sustaining and resilient. Worlds that had been considered dead zones became thriving habitats in a matter of weeks. The psychological impact was perhaps the most significant transformation. Populations that had known only oppression suddenly found themselves with comprehensive support systems. Advanced neural reconstruction technologies began to address generations of collective trauma. Captain Martinez watched the holographic displays, tracking the complex web of societal transformations. "We've been preparing for this moment for generations," she muttered, more to herself than anyone else. The galaxy was changing, not through conquest, but through a comprehensive approach to reconstruction that defied every existing model of interstellar interaction. This was more than an intervention. This was a complete reset of galactic potential, and humanity was just getting started. The Galactic Confederation's central chamber fell silent as Ambassador Elena Rodriguez prepared to deliver humanity's ultimate address. Holographic displays shimmered around her, each one a window into the profound transformation that had swept across the galaxy in mere weeks. "Distinguished representatives," she began, her voice carrying a quantum-enhanced resonance that seemed to bypass traditional translation systems and speak directly to the neural interfaces of every species present. "We are here to establish a new paradigm of galactic interaction." Behind her, a complex holographic representation materialized, a living, breathing map of galactic potential. It wasn't just a static display, but a dynamic projection that showed potential futures, intervention points, and the intricate web of possibilities that humanity had been analyzing for generations. Dr. Nathan Kim stood at a secondary interface, his neural link feeding real-time data into the presentation. The display showed not just what was, but what could be. A quantum probability engine that demonstrated humanity's most profound capability. The ability to understand and shape potential futures. "We are not conquerors," Rodriguez continued, her words cutting through millennia of galactic political rhetoric. "We are architects of possibility." The holographic displays began to shift, revealing layers of intervention that had prevented countless potential conflicts. Diplomatic tensions that had been quietly diffused. Potential genocides averted through strategic, almost invisible interventions. Economic collapses redirected through quantum economic modeling. Captain Aria Martinez moved silently through the chamber, her adaptive chameleon tech suit blending with the holographic displays. Her presence was a living reminder of the precision behind humanity's approach, a walking testament to years of covert preparation. The Zarkon delegation, what remained of it, sat in stunned silence. Their entire imperial structure had been systematically dismantled, not through traditional warfare, but through a comprehensive multidimensional intervention that addressed root causes of conflict. For generations, Rodriguez explained, humanity has been collecting, analyzing, and understanding, not to conquer, not to destroy, but to comprehend the fundamental dynamics of galactic civilization. Quantum communication networks began to pulse with a living intelligence. The displays showed how humanity's technologies could bridge not just communication gaps, but fundamental differences in perception, biology, and cultural understanding. The most terrifying aspect wasn't the technological capabilities. It was the philosophical approach that underpinned them. Terraforming technologies that could transform entire planetary ecosystems in weeks materialized on the displays. Adaptive medical systems that could address generations of genetic trauma were demonstrated. Educational platforms that could instantaneously provide comprehensive knowledge to entire populations flickered into existence. We have the capability to destroy, Rodriguez stated, her voice carrying a weight that transcended diplomatic rhetoric. But destruction was never our goal. The final display was a comprehensive map of potential galactic futures. Quantum probability models showed multiple scenarios, each one demonstrating humanity's potential for both preservation and transformation. It was a living blueprint of possibility, a demonstration of an approach to galactic development that went far beyond traditional concepts of power. Dr. Kim's neural interface fed additional data into the presentation. Each potential future was not just a projection, but a carefully analyzed possibility, with intervention points meticulously mapped out. Today, Rodriguez concluded, the galaxy learns that humanity has been watching, learning, preparing, and we will continue to do so. The chamber fell into a silence more profound than any diplomatic meeting in galactic history. Species that had existed for millions of years found themselves reassessing everything they thought they knew about power, development, and potential. Captain Martinez's final update came through the quantum communication network. The comprehensive reconstruction of the former Zarkon territories was proceeding beyond all projected parameters. Entire populations were experiencing a renaissance of possibility. We are not your enemies. Rodriguez's final words echoed through the chamber and across quantum communication networks. We are the guardians you never knew you needed. The holographic displays began to fade, leaving behind a single powerful message, a quantum-encrypted promise that would resonate across the galaxy. Humanity had spoken, and for the first time, everyone was truly listening. This was just the beginning.